Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lords of Limited. My name is Ben Morney, and joining me on the line, as always, Mr. Ethan Jets Brainwashing Sacks.
Oh, yep.
Daddy's first stealing sack, eh?
Daddy's first steal and sack of the format. And I gotta say, I liked it. Your active treason doesn't usually come with a clue. It's
We've
pretty
come,
nice.
we've come full circle. I've been being sent Mardu deck list this week of red black splashing tolls of war.
Yeah, I said I trophied with a deck that was red, black, splashing tolls and Aang's iceberg. I posted it in Discord and I said, I've completed my villain arc from going from 2 weeks ago, Tolls of War, skeptic and hater, to splashing for it in not even white black decks. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Except I do know what to say about this format, which is that I really like it. I am drafting a ton of this format and enjoying every minute of it.
It's very fun. I think signs of good formats for me are ones where I don't switch to best of three. I've been best of one the entire time because I just want it faster, and best of one gives it to you faster.
You sound like someone who doesn't at all need a clinic or any sort of health intervention at all.
Absolutely.
And I'm very excited about this episode. So we're going to be reviewing the two featured drafts from the World Championship coverage this weekend. And usually what happens is I'll go and watch the VOD and just see the draft or whatever. This time, for both the draft and all the limited rounds, I co-streamed it. So I watched them with my little Twitch chat cohort. And that was really fun. So I feel like I got a sort of live perspective. Sometimes even I feel like my perspective is tainted. I'll know the record of the deck before seeing the draft. And that sort of so I feel predisposes me to think oh, this probably went really, really well, or to agree or to disagree. So I went in totally blind on both of these in that way. And I'm excited to talk to you about it. And save for a few messages, we haven't talked about these drafts. So it'll sort of be fresh on air to see where we're lined up and not with these pros.
Yeah, the messages are largely pros drafting. Yikes! That sort of effect. But truly, I think just small disagreements. More of my disagreements are in Derrick Davis's draft, which is the second draft we're gonna go through.
I agree. I have more disagreements with that draft than Javier's. But yeah, just interesting. And I did dip my toe into best of three and got to do one single limb on Magic Online. I assume I probably missed the windows of the fervor of Worlds players testing in that way. So we have a little bit of best of three trenches research to bring to you. But before we get into that, let's chat about the Patreon page, and then we'll get to some updates from the week. Patreon.com/Lords of Limited is where folks can go to give back to the show if they so choose. We got a lot of awesome perks over at the Patreon page. One is access to our Discord, which is a great community of like-minded, limited individuals. It's still early days, really, in the format. It feels like we've had this set for a long time, but it's really only been out for what, two weeks, really?
Maybe 3 weeks. This is week 3.
Coming up on the end of the third week, maybe. And so there's still a lot to talk about. There's also competitive, high stakes events. There's the play-in for the qualifier was either yesterday on Saturday, best of one. On Friday, it'll be best of three. And then this coming weekend will be the Arena Championships qualifier sealed format for Avatar. And there's been also lots of super RCQs on Magic Online. And the reason that I bring those up is that they're fun to participate in those and get people to, certainly when they're sealed, to be like, hey, this is my pool. Anyone want to give me some feedback or any assistance there? What do you think? Or get to share in people's victories, be like, oh, I made day 2 or got this record, whatever. So that's an awesome feature of the Discord. And we also want to shout out our podcast feed at a higher tier, which is where you get access to not only this episode a day early ad free, but also access to our weekly bonus episode of Lords Unlimited, where we're just crushing it, I've got to say, with the draft logs. We got tons of draft logs that we're reviewing basically every week. And then I don't know, last week I had a whole therapy session about my family visit for Thanksgiving, and so that was fun to do. And, we also are gonna constantly chatting about whatever else we're consuming in media. It's just a fun time. So if any or all of that sounds of interest to you, head on over to the Patreon page, and we want to shout out our new patrons the first week that they join. This week we're welcoming Synthetic Native, Varen, William, Simfasa, DM, Mage of Ith, Centaur, Frederick, Trevor, and Peter. Thank you. We really appreciate your support.
Cannot say thank you enough. I have so many name questions. Do you think DM is a dungeon master or a direct message? Or some
Oh,
initials? Probably some initials.
I mean, they're now a patron of your podcast. You could ask them. You could be the change you want to see in the world and know the answers.
Also, really love the name Mage of Ith. 10 points to Gryffindor for the name Mage of Ith. Do you have any impulse to say the name Simfasa like Mufasa when they were in The Lion King?
Yes, I will say that one of my top 5 songs from Spotify Wrapped was "I Just Can't Wait to Be King" from the Lion King soundtrack.
Thanks to Jonah?
So thanks to Jonah. So I would say yes, that is deep in my bones right now.
Love those names. Welcome,
Yeah.
everyone, and thank you for listening to the podcast.
Um, I did want to just give some brief updates. I know we're gonna have plenty to talk about with these 2 drafts. I did the play-in for the qualifier yesterday. Got in on attempt number 2, which was nice. Had a sweet little, mostly Dimir. It was like Dimir splashing Lightning Strike because I didn't have a ton of removal, and that's where my dual lands lined up. But nice little Dimir deck with Azula. Azula was in both of my pools that I opened. #lucky.
Sealed has to be horrendous in this format, right? I have not done it yet, but seems truly awful.
That just like that just feels evergreen to me.
But
So
like,
I don't
has
make
to
I
has to be especially bad in this one.
yeah, because some of the rares. I did have I think there was like one game. It is funny,
Well,
like
even more than the rares, it's like, did you get a roster of like 15 functional commons? And if no, your pool is probably unplayable.
Barrels of blasting jelly really ties the room
But
together.
did you get barrels of blasting jelly?
That's also a question. Yeah. I also did just want to shout out, like you mentioned this red black deck splashing tolls that I shared with you. I drafted a like red green 4-color Aang, like the Omnath Aang
Hang at the cross.
deck.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Omnath one. Ooh.
yeah. And in a lot of decks, and I feel like in drafts, I see this card later than I think it should go. There was some discourse about this in the Discord, as someone I think posted a "What's the pick?" and people felt that this card like should have been given some love, and I think there were some people who weren't as high on it. Like, where does it rank up against Firebending Lesson and Lightning Strike? And that's Cave of Two Lovers, which I would love. I think we could rename the podcast. But anyway, so this is the red saga, the 3 in a red saga that makes 2 allies, then searches up a mountain or a cave, and then in chapter 3 you earthbend 3. This card, like unless you are like really low curve aggro / if you're really trying to do the like lessons stuff with like Fire Nation cadets, outside of those 2, I think narrow windows of decks, Cave of Two Lovers is just excellent in any red deck that is trying to do something remotely close to mid-range.
I agree. Is this a pack one, pick one situation?
Like, would I pack one, pick one?
I like versus those 2 cards you named. I think I'm always taking Firebending Lesson over Cave of Two Lovers, pack one, pick one. It's close with Lightning Strike for me, but I think I'm taking Lightning Strike over Cave of Two Lovers, pack one, pick one also.
For me, I am not. I'm definitely not taking Lightning Strike, and I might take Firebending Lesson over it. Like, I think that's what you're supposed to do, but Cave is so good.
It's so good. The problem I have with it is it's 4 mana, and your 4 mana value slot gets so clogged so quickly. And Cave is good, but it's not nuts. And like having
you
7.
You sound like part of the problem and not part of the solution. To
No. I love Cave of Two Lovers. Sign me up for the love. I know how powerful it is, but the difference between it and Hey-Bye is noticeable. Like, Cave of Two Lovers is significantly better than Hey-Bye, but you don't really care that much what your 4s are in this format unless they're like the really good ones. And I don't think Cave is like premium. It's like a very good B- or something.
See, I think it's better than that. I don't know. I'm not like, I'm not trying to make this the Cave of Two Lovers argument episode. I just think it's better than that. Like, I think it's better. Like, I feel like you're lumping it in as like, it's just slightly above replacement level for your 4-drops. And I don't think it's that.
I think it's noticeably above replacement level, but I also think Lightning Strike and Firebending Lesson are way noticeably above replacement level for your 1 and 2 drop slot.
Yeah.
And your 1 and 2 drop slot's more important than your 4 drop slot.
Yeah. Well, I want to if you're a skeptic of this card, if you think this maybe doesn't do enough, it's very good. I found it very good.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say that we did hit the best of 3 streets this week. Did get to do one single limb queue on Magic Online, but I did get the trophy. So representing the pod. And the deck was rareless. It was scrappy. The roster of cards for my colors, though, was deep. So I had a lot of sideboarding decisions. Like I was playing a few It'll Quenches, but that was even a question in like deck building was like, do I play these It'll Quenches, which then make it so I can play the Ancestral Recall lesson, which mean like, or do I cut that package and play some other derpy like black creatures or whatever? And I decided that was going to be like a play draw decision, or like if I show my opponents quenches, then they're gone. And I think like that's a really interesting part about that card specifically in best of 3, that I do think it gets worse in best of 3, or that you want to make sure that like once you've shown it, you take it out of your deck, because I've also had situations where I was able to like see them in game 1 against my opponent and then play around them in subsequent games and win those games because of that.
Yeah.
So, but just all that is to say, like, I feel like Javier's draft specifically starts with some very weak packs, and I was seeing some stuff on the main channel of like, oh, these picks are so bad. But the benefit of in-pod play
is you're playing
those packs are bad for everybody. And so it doesn't matter. Like you don't like focusing on that is to be like, oh, my deck is so weak right now. It's like if your deck is weak by pick 4, everybody's deck is weak by pick 4, and
correct.
It'll all balance out.
Yeah, I that all checks out to me. If best of 3 is anything like what we saw in the World's drafts, decks are scrappy. Those were some low-powered drafts.
Some of them, unless you're Sam Party on day 2.
Yeah.
Sam Party's Boros deck was delicious. The combo of what I don't know the card's name, but that 4-mana red rare that's a 4/4 with haste and gives all your other allies when they enter a +1/+1 counter and haste. That comboing with Avatar's Wrath is gnarly because you just keep that creature, exile the rest, replay those things, and they get +1/+1 counters and haste.
Seems good.
Seems good. So pretty powerful. Avatar's Wrath. Where are you at on that card? We were really high on that in our Lords Unlimited preview episode.
I really like it in any aggressive white deck.
I'm pretty low on it now.
All
I have found it. Yeah, I've just found it awkward. Like there is a window in aggressive white decks where it is good. That window I think is pretty narrow, and otherwise it just doesn't do anything really if you're behind.
It does nothing if you're behind. Amen on that. But it also lets you win games at parity that you could never win otherwise, or like slightly behind parity. You have to be behind before it does nothing.
Yeah.
Like if you can navigate to the game where like your opponent's out of cards in hand and you've got a relevant creature, it's basically an I win button. Like it's like a super falter almost.
Yeah, super falter is I think a good way to frame it. But I'm not like falter is not an effect that I love that much.
But super falter. You put the word super in front of it.
That's fair. Well, let's get to these World Championship super drafts here. Day 1 draft. Javier Dominguez, the 2-time world champion.
Pack 1, pick 1, heard around the world.
I mean, I kind of lost it a little bit on stream when I saw this pack 1, pick 1. Though I have some thoughts on it now. Okay, pack 1, pick 1. You see the following cards as option. It'll quench you, 1 on a blue counterspell unless its opponent or unless its controller pays 2. Firebending lesson, the single red deal 2, or kicked deals 5. Allies at last, 2 and a green, 2 creatures you control, punch a creature your opponents control, and it costs 1 less to cast for each ally you control. Waterbending Scroll, the mono blue payoff, and Ben's favorite rare, the 1 in 50 draft, Tiger Seal, the single blue 3/3 Vigi, gets tapped during your upkeep. In your upkeep it gets tapped, and then when you draw your second card, it gets untapped.
This is that draft. You pack 1, pick 1, Waterbending Scroll, wheel Tiger Seal. You're off to the races. Let's go.
Oh my god! I thought of you. I had an opponent play Tiger Seal against me on turn 1 the other day, and I was like, "Is this it?" am I about to get owned? And it proceeded to be tapped for like the first 5 turns of the game. It was abysmal.
Well, my
So
opponent's was impressive.
you look at this pack and you would think easy firebending lesson, or that's what I thought when I looked at this pack.
I think it's a clear. I don't know if it's easy. Like Allies at Last is in contention. I think it's a clear firebending lesson for me. I would never take anything other than firebending lesson here. Pack one, pick one.
Can I interest you in a little data?
But of course, always.
Would it surprise you to know that Allies at Last has a higher game in hand win rate among not only the Gen Pop, but among top players as well than Firebending Lesson?
Do I care?
No.
It's the more relevant question.
But would you find it interesting?
No, I don't find it interesting.
I found it interesting.
I don't find the data interesting.
I found it interesting.
But I find it interesting. No, nothing about the data is interesting to me.
So that's something. It's got a 0.3%.
0.3. Holy cow!
Now he's interested. Now he likes it.
Whoa! Oh, mind blown.
So I don't know, that was a bit more, made me feel like a bit more like Javier wasn't out of his mind, but this felt like he was out of his mind to me.
Well, even let's say that's true. Let's say
True.
It's true.
I mean,
it is true.
They exist.
Can't deny it. They do exist. It is true. All right, that's true. Let's say you put stock in the data and you are a data truther. I still don't love. I don't know how big of a gap 0.3% is, but it's not that large.
It's not that big.
Not that large. I don't love starting your draft green.
Yes.
Without good cards. Like, especially in a pod of people who know what's up. That feels gross to me.
Do you think that this was so certainly like you said, I said it was an easy firebending lesson. You said I don't know about easy, but it's clear for me that that's what I would take. But we recognize they're close and they're powerful. And do you think that this meant a little bit like, Red's probably like, he might be doing a little bit of all things equal? Do I expect Red to be, more contested than green? And these are both removal spells or whatever. Like, do you think he was maybe making that kind of a call?
Maybe. I mean, certainly this pick is that. Do I want to start red or do I want to start green? That's what this pick is. I just always want to start red. That feels like leveling yourself. And I especially with green or black or something red. Somebody's got to be red. Why not you? And Firebending Lesson is such a good, flexible card. It's a lesson. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like you're more often going to get a deck where Firebending Lesson is great and a good deck. You're more likely to get I think on average, you're going to get a consistently better deck starting with Firebending Lesson than starting with Allies at Last. You could spike with Allies at Last if you see good cards. Like green requires spiking to me, I think, to be good.
I agree. And I like and what do people care what I like about Javier's draft? He's doing fine without me. But I like most of this draft beyond this pick. Like after this pick, I'm mostly on board. Like a few picks in pack 2, pack 3 that I take umbrage with, but most of this I'm like, yeah, checks out. It's just this pick threw me for a loop.
Yeah. So Javier lands on Allies at Last. We would land on Firebending Lesson.
Yeah. But I think largely find yourself doing the same thing past that. So pick 2, there's weak packs here. So the cards in contention, there's Compassionate Healer, the 1 and a white 2/2. Common, when it becomes tapped, you gain a life and scry 1. Origin of Metal Bending, 1 and a green lesson. Either put a +1/+1 counter on something and it gains indestructible, or destroy an artifact or enchantment. Hey Bye, the Orzhov uncommon hybrid mana signpost. That's the 3/3. When it enters or attacks, you can sack something and put counters on it. And then when it dies, or when it leaves the battlefield, rather, dump those counters somewhere else. And Avatar Wrath, the 2 white rare, can pick up to 1 creature and then airbend everything else. And then your opponent can't cast stuff from exile next turn.
Yeah, I like Javier's pick of Compassionate Healer here. I think that's what I would land on as well. That card continues to go up and up and up for me.
Yeah, Compassionate Healer is great. I feel like this is kind of akin, I forget it, where it was we were talking about this kind of draft, like these low power drafts where I don't even think there are tiebreakers here. I just think taking Compassionate Healer is right. But if there were tiebreakers in weak packs, like navigating yourself into a color or color pair that can be supported at common, I think is smart. So to take a white card here rather than to get deeper into green, I think I like quite a bit.
Yep.
Pack 3, a lot of good cards. Nothing like, super bomby or anything, but just a lot of good cards. There's Airbending Lesson, the 2 and a white airbend something draw card. Messenger Hawk, the Demir 1/2 flyer. Sold Out, 3 and a black, exile a creature. Forecasting Fortune Teller, 1 and a blue 1/3 make a clue. Earth Kingdom General, the 4 mana 2/2 that Earth bends 2, and then the first time you put counters on something a turn, you gain life equal to those counters. And Teo Spirited Glider, the 4 mana 1/4 in blue, that flyer that when you attack with a flyer, you connive, right? You connive onto a creature effectively. Yeah, lot of good cards. These are the best cards he's seen so far.
Yeah, when I look at this pack, I think there are a lot of similarly powered cards. Airbending Lesson, I don't think is the best card in the pack, but I think you want to follow white here. You don't have a green card to pair up with Allies at Last. You're taking too big of a hit in power for Earth Kingdom General to be really in consideration. So I think this is a pretty clear Airbending Lesson for me over a bunch of similarly powered cards to get deeper into white to go along with my Compassionate Healer.
I think you could make the argument to take Teo as like the air quotes best card in the pack.
I don't love that. It's 4 mana.
That was what I was gonna say. Like, I don't love that, and I also don't love it in context with like Messenger Hawk and Forecasting Fortune Teller are both in the pack, and while those are weaker cards, they also are good cards that sit lower on the curve.
Yes. I think if I were not taking Airbending Lesson, my next pick would be Forecasting Fortune Teller.
I think so too. Okay, so we've got Allies at Last, Compassionate Healer, Airbending Lesson. Pick 4, the hits keep not coming, I guess, as it were. This pack has Zhang Deserters, the 1 and a white 1/2 that dumps a counter somewhere. Abandoned Attachments, the Is It Hybrid Lesson that discards a card and draws 2. And Realm of Ko is the black land that makes spirits.
Yeah, this is super tough. I think had you started on Firebending Lesson, I would be on Abandoned Attachments here, but this is not that world with Javier's draft. So I think really Zhang Deserters is your only option. You could take a flyer on Realm of Ko. I don't think that would be crazy either. It's close.
I think it's kind of crazy. Like, that land just doesn't matter, in my opinion. And having a functional curve does. Like, as we'll see, he doesn't end up, like, his curve ends up, these are some of the only 2-drops he has, So I like, in my experience with in-pod play with like high-level drafters is that like removal gets snapped up and 2-drops get snapped up. So I like taking it where you can. Pick 5, there's Rocky Rebuke, the 1 and a green, or Rocky Rebuke is 1 and a green. Punch something. Unlucky Cabbage Merchant, the 1 and a green 2/2 makes a food, and when you sack a food, you can shuffle that in to find a basic land. Firebender's Ascension is a card I like, but maybe I shouldn't. That's the rare Ascension. It makes a 2/2 with Firebending, and then its Ascending is every time you get an attack trigger, you put a counter on it, and then once you have 4 counters, you double your attack triggers.
I mean, it's fine. It's not great.
It's fine. Yeah.
Fine 2-drop.
And so you just stay on he took Allies at Last first, hasn't taken a green card since.
Yeah, I mean, but you've got to follow what you've got here, which is with Rocky Rebuke. I don't think you've left yourself any wiggle room. If you started on Firebending Lesson, you probably take Firebender's Ascension here. Since you didn't, you take Rocky Rebuke.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you have Firebending Lesson, I guess maybe pick 4. You've got Attachments. Pick 5. You've got the Ascension, and so you could be having inroads to red-white instead of green-white. But I think the white commons here are making your picks either way, 1 and 2.
But I am worried about white not being an option already. Pick 5. Like I have chosen to go into white for no cards really. Like Compassionate Healer is not a reason to get into white, but Javier, in his defense, like the packs were just atrocious, so he had to make a decision, and that was the decision he made. Got unlucky in that white is starting to appear to be cut here. Well, I would be nervous.
Yeah, Pick 6, I think you get a slight breath of fresh air with there's an Earth Rumble in the pack. That's the 3 and a green, Earthbend 2, and then a creature you control fights a creature your opponent controls. And Master Piandao, which is the 4 and a white 4/4 first strike. When it attacks, you impulse for what is it, allies, sagas, or enchantments, maybe auras, I think. Um, yeah, and not the Master Piandao is like nuts, but nice to see that pick 6. I would say after the dipping the toe into white.
Yeah, certainly relieved to see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Pick 7, he grabs a pillar launch out of a pretty weak pack. I had eyes for Dai agents just as a like, maybe if someone like you too.
I did too. I would have spec'd on Daily Agents there. Pack 1, pick 7.
Not that I think that would have bore any fruit. So Dai agents is the 3 black green 3/4 earthbend 1 earthbend 1, and then when you attack, drain your opponent for the number of things you have with +1/+1 counters on them. And Pillar Launch is the single green +2/+2 trick. Yeah, I would have spec'd on Dai agents personally, but then you wouldn't have ended up black green at all. But I liked keeping that option open just because I think Pillar Launch it's fine, but I don't know if that card doesn't really matter to me.
I think you think you're hoping to never play Pillar Launch, and the reason that I like specking on Daily Agents is we've got a feeling that white is not the most open, or at least I do. Like even with that Master P and Dow, I'm like, I don't know about this white life that I'm on. We do have the boon of we've passed no white, so maybe we can reap it in pack 2. But if that doesn't happen, like let's say your neighbor to your left also has that plan. Well, I saw no white. Let me move into white pack 2, get the good white pack 2, and whatever. I'll play my other color in pack 3. Daily Agents gives you somewhere potentially to go, or if you open like Fire Nation Drill or whatever, you're fine scrapping your white and playing black green. I would have spec'd on Daily Agents here.
Yeah, me too. I don't have huge issues with the pick. Pick 8, he gets an Invasion Tactics. That's the 4 and a green, like overrun variant. Everything gets +2/+2, and then when allies you control connect, you draw a card. And then the wheel is dead.
Whoa. Is there no discussion of this Hama the Bloodbender here?
Maybe if you had taken Daily Agents,
that's what I mean. Like I think if you take Daily Agents, all of a sudden I think I'm taking Hama, and I'm maybe moving off white. Or leaving myself the option to move off white.
You are, and I think that makes the wheel seem a little bit more appealing. And then maybe you're because like the wheel cards that Javier gets are all in the Sultai space, kicked off with Bender's Waterskin, which is the mana rock. And so then maybe you're thinking to yourself, oh, maybe I'm ending up in like black green splash blue, something like that. Because the wheel otherwise has nothing for him. And at the end of pack 1, I think he's probably feeling not great.
Probably feeling not great for sure. But I think what taking Daily Agents and Hama does, like, yes, your curve looks truly horrendous. Like if you do have to pivot out of white, but if those colors are open, you probably should get a reasonable curve. And I think it lets you wait until pack 2 to make the decision. Whereas with Javier's route, he's playing green white, come what may.
Correct. Well, and what comes is good cards for green white. Lucky for him.
Correct.
But I agree, and so that's why I'm sort of like, well, the Daily Agents into Hama the Bloodbender spec doesn't matter. The fact that he misses it because green white ends up being great for his seat. But if it didn't, if his opens are because part of what that is centered around is his opens in pack 2 and pack 3.
But I do want to dive into this a little bit more because we're going to see a similar situation in the second draft where the person does get extremely punished for not making these kinds of picks, like pick 7, pick 8, pick 9, pick 10, towards the end. And they get extremely punished in pack 2 for not leaving themselves the option to potentially go down a different route.
Yes, I agree.
This is low cost, high opportunity for these type of picks here.
That's the thing to underline is that, like, especially when I think the drafts are so weak, when a draft like this is so weak, like, why not speculate on the most powerful cards you're seeing or the most signal, laid in picks you're seeing, which I think like Daily Agents isn't a powerful card in my mind, but it is potentially emblematic of a signal.
Correct. And Hama is
Should
the
be.
best card he's seen all draft, I think, potentially, other than firebending less than an allies at last.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's lumped in there. Like that pick 3 that has the fortune teller and the messenger hawk and Teo. I think that those are all giving Hama maybe not run for its money, but they're close in consideration. But I agree that this, and especially seeing it pick 8, I would be like, whoa. But he was probably just thinking, well, there's no way. Like I would have to scrap my entire draft for this.
I don't think you can take it if you don't take daily agents, but that's why you
Yes.
take daily agents. Is like, well, maybe there's this like this domino effect that happens
Mm-hmm.
because you're not
Because
going to miss pillar launch.
well, and Daily Agents is the kind of card also where like, what if you see another one?
Right.
Like then you're just like, I wish I'd taken the first one.
Yeah.
Because you can't really, I don't know. Yeah, they're that's the window to do it. Is pick 7. It's kind of the decision of like, am I in the mood or am I in the market to speculate, or am I saying I'm green white come what may?
But you have no reason to say you're green white come what may.
I agree.
Just
I agree.
very low cost, high opportunity.
Well, we've alluded to the draft going well for him, and it does. Pack 2, he opens Hakoda, Selfless Commander. That's the 3 and a white, 3/5 Vigi that lets you play allies off the top, and you can sack it to give all your creatures +0/+5 and indestructible. Followed by back-to-back Earth Kingdom Jailers, the 2 and a white, 3/3s that exile stuff with mana value 3 or greater.
That's got to feel great.
That just feels incredible. But and to your point of we've passed no good white, and so that's why the people close to him can say, yeah, here are a couple Earth Kingdom Jailers. I wanted to, and so basically like tons of white cards, pack 2, even to the extent of taking a Gather the White Lotus over Path to Redemption. I wanted to get your thoughts on, as a lover of both of these cards, I wanted to get your thoughts about this pick. After getting Hakoda into back-to-back Earth Kingdom Jailers, he is presented with Gather the White Lotus, which is the mono white payoff, versus Path to Redemption, which is the pacifism removal spell.
It's close. I don't have strong feelings about it. I gather the White Lotus is certainly the higher ceiling pick, like more of a speculative pick, like we were talking about with Daily Agents or Hama the Bloodbender. Path to Redemption's always going to be good. I think I would take Path to Redemption in the spot, but I wouldn't fault anyone for taking Gather the White Lotus.
Yeah. I wanted him to take Path at the time. Gather the White Lotus ended up playing out very well for him, but also his curve, it was I believe he had 4 5 drops, which isn't great. He ended up with Gather the White Lotus, Master P and Dow, and double Invasion Tactics, that +2/+2 Anthem effect. And the other 2 picks I wanted to dial in on were in pack 3 after he pack 1 pick ones, or pack 3 pick ones.
I also want to dial in on pack 2 pick 7, which is taking Avatar Enthusiast over Toph the Blind Bandit.
Yeah.
That's a pick that was made as a result of the Gather the White Lotus pick, which where you're kind of getting like Toph is a much better card than Avatar Enthusiast.
I agree. I mean, I still think I would just, I guess you're taking Avatar Enthusiast not only because it is nice with Gather the White Lotus because it just grows to like a 7/7, but also because you want to be as white as possible after taking Gather.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like that pick. I don't like either of those picks. Like I would just rather have Path and Toph than Gather the White Lotus and Avatar Enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So pack 3, he opens the Earth King and a Demir Azula as well. So got to pass that. But opening Earth King is just about the best green card you could imagine opening. That's the 4 mana 2/2 that brings along a 4/4. And whenever you attack with stuff that has power 4, you search up lands. And then 2 picks that I also don't particularly like. So pick 2, he sees Razor Rings, Raucous Audience, the 1 and a green 2/1 mana dork that taps for double green when you have power 4 or greater creatures, and True Ancestry, which is the 1 and a green, return a permanent from your graveyard to your hand, lessen, and then you make a clue. I really wanted him to take Raucous Audience here. I just thought it made his curve look better. Ramping into Earth King or Hakoda on turn 3 is excellent. Like I don't find True Ancestry to be effective in these like green white beats decks.
That's true. It's out of place, but you've got an Earth King now. You've got these double Earth Kingdom jailers. You've got Hakoda. You have several high value targets at this point to get back. I think the
Yeah.
the power level of True Ancestry is, while it being off plan, its power level is higher enough than Raka's Audience that I like taking what I think is the best card here, the most powerful card, which is True Ancestry.
Okay. Well, we're split there. And then pick 3, I was also quite confused by, especially because of the previous pick of Gather the White Lotus. He landed on taking Katara the Fearless, which is the Bant Katara, green, white, blue for a 3/3 that doubles your ally triggers. And there's a Toph the Blind Bandit in here. There was no love for Toph the Blind Bandit in this draft, which I didn't get because I think Toph is just like, you don't need to Earthbend. A 3-mana 2/3 that Earthbend that with a brings along an Earthbend 2/2 is a very good card.
Very good card. Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, this is another speculative pick, right? Because you've literal no mana fixing at this point, other than the Earth King. But the dream is Kataraing into the Earth King, right?
I guess, but like the Earth King is just good.
The Earth King's just good, yeah. It seems very unlikely in Pack 3 that you're going to get the fixing for Katara to work out.
I mean, Katara also doubles your Earth Kingdom jailer. You can exile 2 things. Or the Earth Kingdom
Yeah,
jailer.
I mean, it's a lot of dreaming. This is another speculative pick here, and certainly Javier is good enough to know that this is highly speculative. This would be, if I get a bunch of fixing, great. If no, but it doesn't seem worth it to me. This is high cost to me because I think
That's what
Toph
I
is
think.
very, very good. So, yeah.
Yeah, I could see it if the pack was like blank or whatever.
And you
But I
also
don't know.
kind of need 2s. Kyoshi Battle Fans, just a 2.
Yeah, that's true. I'm OP too. But like, so despite my like whatever, I feel like I'm doing a little dickering and dealing with these few picks. And I do think dialing in on the Dai Li agents pick in pack 1 into the Hama potential is good, because I think that's just sort of like an emblematic takeaway of, here is a way to think about these drafts, or think about weak drafts and avenues through them. That our listeners can take away. But he ends up with a really strong deck and lost in the finals to a bit of, I don't know if you watched this match, a bit of like, he played against who ends up being the featured drafter for day 2, Derrick Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick it was very funny. So Derrick had like a pretty bad looking white blue tempo deck. They showed a picture before the match. They showed a graphic with a picture of Derrick and a quote of his, which was effectively him saying like, yeah, my deck is a piece of garbage and I'm going to get dumpstered in this final match, but great. Can't wait to be on camera. And he just kind of had like the perfect against Javier, and Javier flooded out in game 2 pretty hard. There was also I also think Javier kind of tripped up. I'm curious what folks who watched this thought, but there was a turn where I think Derrick had a Glider Kids into a Kyoshi Warriors turn.
Mm-hmm.
So he was tapped out on 4. And Javier had telegraphed Razor Rings on the previous turn because he had attacked his 1/1 Haru into a 2/3 or 3/3 that Derrick had.
Mm-hmm.
And Derrick didn't block, but it was clear that Javier had something, and it's not open deck lists, but open pools in the feature match draft area. So Derrick knows that that's a card he could have. And then on turn 4, Derrick is tapped out. Javier doesn't cast Earth King. He instead casts a 2-drop that lets him Earthbend 1 onto a land with Haru. And then he passes with that Earthbent land and another land untapped with Razor Rings up. And Derrick is able to savage this by playing Rowdy Snowballers pre-combat to tap the 1/1 land.
Oh, and then he's down a land the next turn.
Javier's
Did he brick and was unable to cast the Earth King?
I think he bricked because he also didn't float. What Javier could have done was mana cycle the Sabertooth with the 2 mana he had for Razor Rings, and he didn't do that.
Oh,
it was pretty brutal. And then basically every time Javier cast the Earth King, Derrick had lost days for the 4/4. So Derrick got very lucky. I think Javier's deck was better. They face off 10 times. I think Javier wins. But I also think Javier, I think Derrick took opportunity and blah, blah, blah. But it was a very interesting match.
Nice.
Yeah. So Derrick got the 3-0. 4-0 in constructed leads him to the only undefeated player on day 2.
Feels good, man.
Yeah, feels really good.
So we're going to hop into Derrick's draft here. You're at 7-0 at Worlds.
3 of the next 7. That's all you need.
3 of the next 7. But there was a sweat, right? I kept checking Twitter and it was like, this so-and-so is the first person to qualify for the top 8. So-and-so is the next person to qualify for the top 8. Like I'd been following lots of written Twitter coverage. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what happened to Derrick? Where's Derrick's name? And he did make it into the top 8.
Yeah.
It took a little longer probably than he would have liked.
Yeah, for sure.
So pack 1, pick 1. See the following cards as options. There's Heibai, which is the black-white uncommon panda. There's Lightning Strike, deal 3, red instant. Teo Spirit Glider, the 1/4 flyer at uncommon. And then burying the lead, your rare is Fire Nation Drill, 2BB for the 6/3 vehicle. When it enters, you can tap it to destroy something mana value 4 or greater, or power 4 or greater. Which one?
I think it's power 4 or less.
That's what I meant. Power 4 or less. And then just wins the game handily after there.
Yeah, massive. Yeah, you feel great. You're 7-0. You open up Fire Nation Drill. Let's go.
You're in a color that presumably nobody else wants to be. Like, yeah, love opening Fire Nation Drill.
Except, spoiler, I think there were 3 black drafters at this table.
Yeah, this was tough. So take Fire Nation Drill, pack 1, pick 2. See the following cards as options. There's a Vindictive Warden. That's the Rakdos hybrid. There we go. My classic pause while I think of the name of the color pair. 2/3 Menace and Firebending 1, and you can pay 3 mana to deal damage to your opponent. There's Tylee, Artful Acrobat. That's the red uncommon 3/2 with prowess, and you can pay 1 when it attacks to make something unable to block. There's Path to Redemption, which is the 1 and a white pacifism effect. There's Momo. I couldn't gather whether this was the uncommon or the rare Momo.
I think it was the rare, but neither of them are very good cards.
Yeah, neither of them are great. I think you're taking Path to Redemption over both of them.
Correct.
And then there's North Pole Patrol, which is the 2 and a blue 2/3 untapper/tapper. And Firelord Zuko, the Mardu rare Zuko is your rare for the pack.
This is close for me between Path to Redemption and North Pole Patrol. I think with like just feeling like white's the best color and removal is scarce, I would take Path to Redemption, but I wouldn't fault you for taking the Patrol either.
Yeah, I'd also take Path to Redemption. That is what Derrick did as well. So we're 2 for 2 with Derrick. You move on to pack 1, pick 3. See the following cards as options. There's Pirate Peddlers. That's the 2 and a black death touch that grows when you sacrifice something. There's True Ancestry, the card we talked about from Javier's draft. The 1 and a green, rebuy something, make a clue. There's Idle Quencha, 1 and a blue, counter target spell unless the opponent pays 2. There's Hermetic Herbalist, which is the blue-green uncommon, the 2/3 mana dork. And literal 0 white cards in the pack, which should send some alarm bells off.
Okay, I mean, alarm bells about you probably don't get to play this path.
Yeah.
But that's not a big deal. I think I would just take Idle Quencha here, though I don't like. I wish that there were a better option. Maybe it's True Ancestry, except I really don't want to sign up to play black green. And I like black blue a lot, and I would like to play this Fire Nation Drill if at all possible. So I think I would take Idle Quencha, even with my hesitancies about the card in best of 3.
There's something to be said for True Ancestry being busted with Fire Nation Drill.
Yep.
Ultimately, whatever you do here, you're putting no weight on this pick.
Correct.
Like I think that's the important thing to lock in mentally. And I think I would probably also take Idle Quencha, but it's close for me with True Ancestry. I agree you don't want to be black green, but being base black green splash is okay. I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about this pick. I would probably take Idle Quencha in a high stakes draft because I wouldn't want to be black green.
Is there anything like if this pick doesn't matter, but you want to be black? Can you make an argument for Pirate Peddlers? I can't because I think that card is so bad.
I agree. I also think that card's atrocious.
Okay.
So Derrick agrees, lands on Idle Quencha, so we're 3 for 3 with Derrick.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to pack 1, pick 4. You see the following cards as options. There's a Deadly Precision, a Rocky Rebuke, which is the 1 and a green fight spell. I guess I should say what Deadly Precision is also. That's the single black, destroy target creature. And then you can pay 4 mana or sacrifice something as an additional part of the cost. There's Earth Rumble, which is 3 and a green for the fight spell. You Earthbend 2 and then have target creature fight another creature. And there's also a War Balloon, excuse me, 2 and a red for the 4/3 and crew 3, and you can
Yeah.
pay 1 mana to start to animate it after 3 mana.
Mm-hmm. I would just slam Deadly Precision here. Get
I agree.
deeper
You
into black.
slam Deadly Precision to go along with black, but noting the green seems to be flowing. There's a Rocky
Sure.
Rebuke, and there's an Earth Rumble.
Yeah, okay.
Moving on to pack 1, and also no white cards. Also,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're like off white at this point, especially because pack 5 also has no white cards. Like white clearly cut.
Okay.
Pack 1, pick 5 options are a sold out, 3 and a black, exile target creature. There's Callous Inspector, which is the black 1-drop with menace, and whenever it dies, you lose a life and make a clue. There's Boomerang Basics, which is single blue for the lesson to bounce something, and if you controlled it, you draw a card. And there's also the red-green uncommon in Bitter Work.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep getting deeper into black and taking removal spells with the theoretical thought that removal will be scarce at a PT draft, that it doesn't end up being what happens in this draft.
Yeah,
but
that does
at
not.
the time, I was feeling like, great, I'll take a sold out pick 5. Like, I'm thrilled with this.
I don't know if I'm thrilled. I don't love having 0 creatures through 5 picks in a draft.
I guess I just mean, like, sold out is one of black's best commons. It's one of
You're feeling okay about black. Yeah.
I'm just feeling like, hey, I picked a bomb, pack 1, pick 1, and that color seems open. So I feel good about that.
Yeah. Pick 6, again, there's a sold out, which you're always taking.
Mm-hmm.
Again, noting though that green seems to be flowing. There's a Seismic Sense.
Yep.
Foggy Swamp Vinebender, which is not really a card, but
yeah.
And no white. We've also not seen or picked a blue card since It'll Quench Ya, which we're putting no weight on that pick, right?
Correct.
So pack 1, pick 7,
he says before pick 7.
Pack 1, pick 7, there's another It'll Quench Ya. There's Fire Nation Trebuchet, which is 2 and a black for the 0/4 with reach. And whenever you attack, you can make a 2/1 flyer that you then have to sacrifice at the end of the turn. There's also the uncommon Appa, which is the 4 white 4/4 that gets to airbend things when it enters or attacks.
This is basically the only pick in pack 1 that I don't like, and I think it is the pick, along with, I guess, pack 2, pick 1, but it feels like the pick that sends Derrick down the wrong path to me.
There's several here, I think, at the end of pack 1
okay,
that send Derrick down the wrong path. But yeah, this I think is a really bad pick. You take Fire Nation Trebuchet here 10 out of 10 times. You're black. Fire Nation Trebuchet has a high ceiling in black when you put the right cards around it, and you have no reason to be blue, like literal no reason to be blue.
Well, and I think the second It'll Quench Ya, it is much worse than the first. And like what I had my feelings about It'll Quench Ya in best of 3 in pod play before seeing these drafts, but my feeling stands of like, people are going to play around it, and especially in the feature match, like they'll be playing around it from jump because it's open pools,
right,
in the feature match area. So like, I think that also makes It'll Quench Ya a less desirable card. But even if it was more desirable than that, I like Fire Nation Trebuchet. I like getting deeper into black. I don't know why we're taking the Quench here.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty egregious pick. And then moving on to pack 1, pick 8, see the following cards as options. There's an Ostrich Horse. There's a Callous Inspector, another one that's the black 1/1 menace. Ostrich Horse is the 3/1 that mills and lets you pick up a land. And there's also an Invasion Tactics, which is the 4 and a green. Your team gets +2/+2, and when allies deal damage, you draw a card. That not going to be at its best with how deep you are into black. I think this is pretty close between Callous Inspector and Ostrich Horse. I personally would spec on Ostrich Horse. I don't think it is crazy to take Callous Inspector here, but I would take Ostrich Horse in this spot.
I like the Callous Inspector pick here. And while I think Ostrich Horse is a, dare I say, much better card, like maybe it's like C+ versus C- to me in terms of grades, my feeling at this point, like basically once I have Fire Nation Drill, Deadly Precision, sold out, pick 6, my mission is escape pack 1 as deep in black as possible. so that I am open to whatever gets passed to me or whatever I open that is powerful. Because I have something that's powerful, I'm just going to stay there. So I think, like, yes, Ostrich Horse is a better card, but I don't see any reason to take it over Callous Inspector with what I think my mission in this pack one is right now.
That's fair, except I think it has been pretty clear through
Yep,
pack one that green is the next most open color
I agree.
behind black in your seat. And I think this is a time to move in. If you're wanting to take those signals, move in with the Ostrich Horse. I don't think it's crazy not to. I think Callous Inspector is reasonable here. I personally would take Ostrich Horse.
Okay.
I think a close pick. And I think if you're taking Callous Inspector, you're still lodging green's real likely to be my second color.
Yes.
Moving on to pick 9, there's an Azula Always Lies, which is the combat trick lesson that puts a +1/+1 counter on something and gives something else -1/-1. There's also a Foggy Swamp Vinebender, the 4-mana 4/3. You take Azula Always Lies here to get deeper into black. That's what Derrick does. Pick 10, there's an Iguana Parrot. There's a Tiger Dillo, which is the 4/3 that can attack if you control a thing power 4 or greater. There's another red, highly uncommon. I guess it's not another one. It's the one that wheeled from pack 1, which is kind of wild because that's a good card. What was one of the better cards in that pack initially.
Yeah.
And then almost unfortunate for Derrick that the Iguana Parrot is here because that gets him deeper into blue for no reason yet again.
Correct. I mean, I would hope that he's not putting stock in that, but maybe he does.
And then this I think is the most egregious pick of this whole draft, which is pick 11. Why are you laughing?
Because because it's just how you're setting it up. I don't think it's that. I mean,
This is horrifically egregious.
Okay.
Pick 11. There's a Cycle of Renewal, which is the 2 and a green lesson that lets you sack a land and search up 2 other lands. And there's a How to Start a Riot, which is 2 and a red, give your team +2/+0. And Derrick takes How to Start a Riot here, which has literally a 0% chance to make his deck, I assume. And Cycle of Renewal, which is a good card in a color that's clearly been open in your seat and gives you flexibility. Like, this is one card, like, this is so binary to me. One card could do something for you, one card could not. One card's in a color that's been open during your draft, and the other card is in a color you've had literal no interest in. I don't get this pick, and I think he gets punished horrifically for not taking Cycle of Renewal here.
Have you cast much Cycle of Renewal?
I have.
I have as well, and I think every time I include it in my deck is bad. I think it is indicative of my draft has gone awry for including it. And I am hoping to, not that I have not splashed around, I've done plenty of splashing, but I think it is truly bottom of the barrel fixing in the format. So that's why I was laughing. It's not like, I agree with you that like green is open. I don't know why he's taking How to Start a Riot here. I also don't care about Cycle of Renewal myself at all. And you're right that green has been open. He has not taken any green cards, and I don't think that's crazy to have not taken any green cards up to this point.
I agree that it's not crazy to have not taken green cards at this point. Well, when was the Idle Quencha? Oh yeah, that would have been another black card. That would have been Fire Nation Trebuchet. Yeah, I don't think it's crazy. I agree. But green's clearly been open.
Green's clearly been open, but Cycle of Renewal is not a good Magic card.
But it lets you play other good Magic cards. And being base black green, if you're gonna end up base black green, which seems reasonable for this seat, given what's happened in pack 1, you want to be splashing cards of other colors. It's a lesson. I don't know. Teamer Lessons likes a Cycle of Renewal. And now we're not going to be Teamer Lessons.
We're not going to be Teamer Lessons, yeah.
Yeah, we're deep into black. We're not going to be Teamer Lessons. But there's a world where you might want to splash a card. Like if you're green, you're interested in splashing. I don't know. I really hate How to Start a Riot.
I don't, but I hate. My feeling about this pick is like neither of these cards matter, and the second Idle Quencha I think is much more egregious than this pick.
Yes, except this is the thing we were talking about high opportunity, low cost. Like all you have to do is make the right pick here, and and you get rewarded. But I less egregious. I don't know. It's pretty bad not taking Cycle of Renewal here, as we'll see. So pack rounds out. You get a Badger Mole. You get an Earthbending Lesson. You get a Foggy Swamp Mindbender. Green, clearly open from the right.
Clearly open.
clearly open from the right in the seat.
Yeah. Okay.
And then pack 2, pick 1. You get maximum punished. You see the following cards as options. There's Boomy King of 3 Trials, which is the 5 and a green 4/4, and you get to choose a mode for each lesson you have in your graveyard. You can Earthbend 3,
Earthbend 3.
put 4
It's all
plus 1/+1
3.
counters on
No,
it.
it's all
Put 3
they're all
plus,
3.
yeah, it's all 3s. There we go, the 3 trials. Put 3 plus 1/+1 counters on it. Earthbend 3 and Scry 3. Don't laugh at me. Stop. I'm fired up. I'm tilted.
Boomy King
I'm
of 3
tilted on behalf of
Trials.
Derrick.
4 things. This is interesting. This is an interesting. I don't have the same perspective as you about this pick.
There's Low and Lee Twin Tutors, which is the black 2/2 that can search up a noble. There's Benevolent River Spirit, which is the blue 4/5 flying with Ward 2 that you can earth or waterbend out. There's another Sold Out, which is 3 to black for the instant, exile something. And your rare in the pack, Iroh Grand Lotus, 3 green, blue, red for the 5/5 busted mythic rare. That if you take Cycle of Renewal, you get to take Iroh Grand Lotus here and be green, black, play Iroh, and play great cards.
Whoa, that's crazy to me. That's not what I would do. That's not
what would you do?
I would take Sold Out here. I mean, I don't know that I'm gonna get access to 16 Sold Outs in this draft like Derrick does, but I would just take Sold Out here. I would be scared about being heavy black. I have 1 Cycle of Renewal on the wheel, and now I'm taking Iroh Grand Lotus and signing up to be 4-color garbage at the PT. Why or at Worlds? Why am I doing that? I would just take Sold Out here. I am not
4-color garbage, 4-color rares, baby.
4-color garbage. You're pairing black with green to splash Iroh. Black is arguably the color that has the worst lessons. So like, what are you doing with black and Iroh? I think that, respectfully, I do not like that as a pick. But to the point, I really hate taking Benevolent River Spirit here. I don't think that card is very good. We've talked about that last week. I think it has like gone down and down and down for me. Even though it did do some great dodging of mana value 3 or greater removal in this run for Derrick. Dodged Epic Downfall, dodged the White Mythic Saga. But yeah, I would just take Sold Out here.
Let's say you don't take Iroh. I still think the number 2 card in the pack that you're taking or supposed to take is Boomy King of 3 Trials.
I feel the same. I say the same thing. Where are the lessons come? Like, what lessons are you playing in black green?
You've got your Azula Always Lies already. You've got the Cycle of Renewal that you were supposed to take.
These are bad cards. You are naming cards that I'm hoping to not put in my deck.
I don't know. I cannot shake the fact that green was so obviously open in pack 1. I think you're supposed to move into green. I don't know why you're fighting so hard to not be green.
It's not that I'm fighting hard to not be green. I just don't think, like, I feel like both things can exist. I see that green is open, and I have never had a reason to take a green card over a black card yet. Even if I have the amazing common Cycle of Renewal that I got pick 11 and the Badger Mole Earthbending Lesson, like, yes, I have green cards. Green is likely to be my second color. I think I'm still taking the 3rd Sold Out here over Boomy.
What is your hope from this point forward if you're heavy black? Like, where do you end up compared to Derrick?
Where do I end up? Because I am probably heavy black into pack 3. Does he get what wheels in pack 1? I feel like there was something where I was like, oh, is this color emerging as being open?
Red, potentially. There was the Tiger Dillo and Ty Lee. Pick 10.
Red, potentially. I don't know. I don't know where I end up. I'm not I don't love where I end up with all the black stuff, because it's like, I was feeling this just watching Derrick, like, how do you win?
How do you win? Yeah.
And give a pile of Sold Outs. What are you doing? But I am not a huge fan of Boomy King of 3 Trials, even in lessons heavy decks. But I agree. I think in black green, it's just never getting there. But yeah, I don't know.
I also think pack 2, pick 1. I don't know if I'm locking in Iroh Grand Lotus, but it gives you the opportunity to take Iroh Grand Lotus.
It certainly does.
And see. Was that a well, you can make that pick. It certainly does.
No.
Like there's a lot of negative energy in that comment.
No. That's fair. That's fair. I hear how
That
you
is a
heard
pick that you have the option of making.
You are legally allowed to do that. No,
and see, because there's literally nothing else here. Benevolent River Spirit is atrocious in your deck right now.
It's a 7-mana 4/5 flyer. Like you have no permanence to waterbend this out.
And you also don't need sold out number 3. Like sold out number 3 is pretty bad.
Sold out number 3 is pretty bad. That I agree. I guess if you have cycle, it does allow you to take Iroh. I'm just terrified of doing that.
You gotta live a little.
I guess so.
I don't know if it's right, but that's certainly what I would have done in Derrick's seat. Now, granted, there's a reason Derrick's on the B team playing in Worlds, and I'm not, but that's what I would have done. Pack 2, pick 2. We'll go the rest of the way Derrick went through the draft. But also, I think from this point on, Derrick just sees largely horrible packs, no matter what he's doing. Also,
correct.
Like through all of Pack 2. Pack 2, pick 2, there's a Long Fang, that's the green-black uncommon. There's a Kyoshi Battle Fan as a 2/1 equipment that's kind of filler-ish. There's Fire Navy Trebuchet, another copy of the 0/4 Reach that makes 2/1s when you attack. There's also a Waterbending lesson here, which is a 3 and a blue sorcery lesson that lets you draw 3 cards, and then you have to discard unless you Waterbend 2. What do you like here?
I would have still been taking just black cards. Like I like Trebuchet, and I would have happily taken a second one. I don't think that pick would have ended up working out. I like Longfang too. His deck really ended up being desperate for a waterbending lesson. Like he needed card advantage in his deck, so I could see that. Like I could see any of those 3 picks. I don't like taking Battle Fan. I think I would have landed on Trebuchet myself. Get deeper into black with a pseudo 2-way player.
And certainly if you take the first Fire Navy Trebuchet, the second is a lot more appealing. Like I think if you've taken your route through the draft, you slam the second Fire Navy Trebuchet. Derrick is significantly less interested in Fire Navy Trebuchet at this point, I think, after having passed the first one. I think Derrick, like if you've gotten into blue for the Idle Quenches, I think you're supposed to take Waterbending lesson here because you're 1 for 1-1, and you need a way to restock to get ahead on cards.
I agree. Feels bad that it's another 4-drop though.
But at some point you got to say like, this is what I am. This is who I am. Like this is like this is where the draft took me. Like and I think you're supposed to take Waterbending.
So I guess I mean Battle Fan does give him 2 permanent. Like he just took Benevolent River Spirit.
River Spirit gives him 2 permanents.
2 permanents for that. He has the Deadly Precision, so it's 2 permanents for that to potentially sacrifice. His curve is abysmal, so it's not crazy. It's not a bad pick.
Yeah. Pack 2, pick 3, you get another pick. You get another sold out.
But he needs, like I was screaming at this point. Yeah, he gets the other sold out. He needs to take Waterbending Scroll here.
Yeah, to try to have some way to get ahead on cards.
Even if you're like gonna be 10-7, 11-6, like whatever. Waterbending Scroll in your blue-black deck is important.
Or Iguana Parrot to just have creatures.
To just have creatures. Yeah, I don't like taking sold out here. Though, through my route, I would have probably, because I'm not blue.
Right.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe my route is worse. I just don't like taking the blue cards. The like Second Idle Quencha and Benevolent River Spirit do not seem good to me.
I agree. So Pack 2, pick 4, there's a Rockalanche, which not remotely in consideration. It's a heavy green payoff for being mono green. There's Forecasting Fortune Teller, which is the 1/3 make a clue, and Sokka Lateral Strategist, the 1 blue 2/4. In this case, I guess it's Azorius Hybrid, 2/4 vigilance, and whenever it and another creature attack, you draw a card.
Well, Derrick is never going to have 2 creatures on the battlefield, so he cannot take Sokka. He has to take Fortune Teller. And Fortune Teller is great. Like that pick 4 made me be like, okay, maybe he's going to get bailed out here.
And then Pack 2, pick 5, there's a Boomerang Basics, there's a Vindictive Wardens, the 2/3 Menace, there's another Bitterwork, the red-green uncommon, that's not remotely in consideration. No. Rumble Arena as a land with a bit of fixing, And then Team Avatar just chilling out here, pack 2, pick 5. Very late for that card. The thing that gives all your stuff exalted, and then you can buy out Claw's removal spell with it.
Certainly very late, but it's not remotely close. Like, even if you were to be like, oh, I'm not that, like, I could go back into white, but like, you have no creatures, so Team Avatar is going to be terrible for you.
Correct.
Boomerang Basics is nice, except like every time he takes a card like this, I'm like, this is not that you have better options, but what you don't need is more interaction.
But you're supposed to take Vindictive Wardens here, I think, over Boomerang Basics. You just need bodies on the battlefield so that you don't have to fire off every sold out you've drafted on every 2/2 your opponent has. Like, you need some defensive speed.
Yeah. I don't like pick 6 either. He takes, like, I'm not crazy about Master Paku, but it's a 1/3 prowess and you have buckets of interaction. I like that much better than he takes Platypus Bear, the Simic 2/3 that mills 2, and if you have a lesson in your yard, it can attack. Like, what lesson? You have Boomerang Basics, and how many Azula Always Lies are you hoping to play?
Right. Yeah. I also would have taken Master Paku there. But largely, I mean, we're saying don't like this pick, don't like this pick, don't like this pick. They're all bad options.
It's a tough seat for his draft, for sure. And I'm not saying, like, it's weird that I'm like, I don't like getting into blue, but I also don't like what I end up doing, which is get deeper into black and have 16 sold outs in my pile. And then, like, going into pack 3, you're like, okay, what we really need is some stuff on board. We have all the interaction locked up. We're good. We just need to get bodies on board. And his options are prescribed. He has to take Epic Downfall, pick 1, and Heartless Act, pick 2. And it's like, oh joy, more 1-for-1 removal.
But does get bailed out pretty hard with some ways to win the game, with some late canyon crawlers. And I was shocked that he didn't take a giant koi.
I was
11
too.
Over Azula Always Lies.
I was too. Giant koi, I think, would have been really nice for his deck. Yeah, I don't know.
So
maybe he had like lesson stuff on the brain. Like, he was just thinking, does he have stuff that cares about lessons? The platypus pair
from standard lessons. I heard Gran was all the rage. Blue red Granny.
Yes. But yeah, I was full on, oh no, this dude is gonna go 7-0 into 0-3.
That's what I thought too. When I went to look up the record, like, this final deck looks like not
barely functional.
Yes. And got the 2-1. Out of a what seemed like a very low powered and like tough navigation of a low powered draft.
Mm-hmm.
So won round 1, lost round 2 to Sam Party, who ended up 3-0ing the draft pod and being the first person to queue for the top 8. So congrats to Sam Party.
Sam's Boros deck was sweet. He had 2 or 3 Sun Warriors, and like, yeah, he just had a really good looking deck. Very powerful.
So congrats to Derrick on salvaging a very difficult draft with a 2-1 here. And congrats to Derrick on the top 8.
Congrats to Derrick on the top 8. Javier just missed out on top 8ing Worlds back to back, which is crazy. Like, he was 9-5, so 1 win away from making.
But Matt Nass was 10-4 and didn't make it on Breakers, right?
No. Is that true?
Yeah. I swear I saw something on Twitter.
Something on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Dang. Well, Matt Nass and Michael Di Benedetto Plummer, both 10-4, but on the outside looking in. Oh, I thought 10 wins guaranteed it. That's brutal.
That's what coverage was saying the whole time. And then I saw that tweet from Matt, and I was like, oh, well, guess coverage was not telling the truth about that.
Oh, dang. Wow. That's wild. This is, I know it's Worlds. This top 8 is stacked. Sam Party,
stacked.
Jean-Emmanuel Duprat, Seth Manfield, Arna Hushenbeth, Ken Yukihiro. That is, oh my goodness.
You might as well say everyone's names to not shaft.
I know, right? Well, I guess I'm not familiar with the work of Sean Henry or Akira Shibata, and we just talked about Derrick Davis. But
I know the name Sean Henry.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I know the name Sean Henry.
Great. Can you say more about them?
I can't say more, but I recognize that name.
Okay. Yeah, it's a stacked top 8 and stacked with blue and red cards, despite Vivi getting banned.
So talk to me about Standard briefly. So was Grand like a breakout sneaky card in this tournament? Are there multiple flavors of blue red and Grand is the best flavor? Is that the scuttle?
I don't quite know. I've not watched any of the Standard rounds this weekend. But there were 3 flavors. There was like, is it lessons, is it looting, and is it prowess? I would assume from the looting portion. I watched one round of the is it lessons deck, and Grand is in that deck, so that it makes accumulated wisdom literally
Into ancestral.
Yeah. But also
Seems
by
good.
the name of is it looting, I would assume Grand is there, but maybe it's just stuff like fear of missing out and all that stuff, and maybe it's got Oculus. I don't know.
I just saw somebody, I don't remember who, tweet like, well, missed out on day 2ing Worlds because our testing team missed that Grand was a playable Magic card or whatever.
Oh wow, okay. So maybe that's not in looting, and maybe not all versions of lessons. Okay, so it looks like Tiger Seal is in the is it looting deck. There you go.
See, I told you.
Yeah, you told me. You got me. What else? And then what is it prowess? Is it prowess is Riddler, Thundertrap Trainer. How these decks win? Oh, all from Storm Chaser's talent, Planisphere. Okay. Great. This is the dream. This is my dream. When I listen to constructed podcasts and they mumble about limited for 30 minutes, I always get mad, and I'm like, what if we did that? And now here we are mumbling about constructed.
And on that note,
yeah,
it's probably time for us to exit stage left. Thank you, as always, to Salty Pretzels for our intro and outro music. Make sure you give it a listen.
You can find all our content at lordsoflimited.com. There's links to our tier lists. There are not any links to constructed content there. You can find our YouTube channel, our Twitch streams, respectively, our Patreon page if you're interested in supporting us there. All of that is available at lordsoflimited.com.
If you've got any feedback about the show or any questions, shoot us an email at lordsoflimited@gmail.com.
Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week for another episode of Lords of Limited.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.